TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
You guys also do insurance restoration. Our
staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Massive move made by the Raptors. They're parting ways with the man who helped bring the team its first and only NBA championship in franchise history in 2019. Masai Ujiri out as Toronto's vice chairman and GM. The move comes a day after the conclusion of the NBA draft and 3 days before free agency begins. Members of the Raptors' current front office, including GM Bobby Webster, will remain in place. Texas State has called a Board of Regents meeting for Monday to complete its move to the Pac-12. Bobcats will become the conference's 8th football-playing full member and give that league the minimum number of members to continue as an NCAA conference. First round of the NHL draft is tonight, 7 Eastern ESPN. Islanders have the top overall pick, projected to select defenseman Matthew Schaefer of the Erie Otters of the Ontario Hockey League in ESPN's final mock draft.
Can you get me over?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown and you abuse you?
The lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. You're listening to another station I don't understand. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. They go up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Did somebody respond?
Can only mean one thing. It's football Friday. And Football Friday means football music, and football music means the greatest single piece of football music ever recorded in America.
And you better enjoy it too, because I'm going to the mountaintop. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like, what are you talking about? Nobody takes more days off than you. No. First of all, no. Not true, actually, but that's not the point. The point is that I'm going to the mountaintop. I mean, that's it. Now, I'm not talking about these working things. Now, I miss time because I have multiple things that I'm doing, right? I serve 2 masters. And if I'm working for Bassmaster and I'm traveling for that, but I'm taking radio gear with me, and I'm doing shows, and I'm doing my work for Bassmaster. I'm doing TV, and I'm doing stuff with them. And, that's not vacation. All right, look, I work in the toy department of life. I get it. My whole life's a vacation. I get it. You think that because you think all I do is crack this mic open and bump my gums for 2 hours a day. It's not quite the job. There's an awful lot of other things that are going on behind the scenes over here. All right. But I do travel a lot. So I miss shows for various things and so on. Various responsibilities with BASS and stuff like that. But rarely do I take like an actual vacation. I try to this upcoming week every year because it's my anniversary week. All right. Today is my 45th wedding anniversary. Today. Okay. And it'll be getaway day for me from a show standpoint. I mean, I'm not leaving today. I still got stuff to do. I got to take the boat over to the Phoenix place. I got to go pick up some meds. I got running around tomorrow. I got to make sure the property's right. All kinds of stuff. But Sunday after church is when the JYB and I will head to the cabin in the mountains of North Georgia. Woo! Yeah. For 4 solid days. I mean, we pack in. I mean, that's the way that rolls with us. We just pack in when we go in. And for the most part, we don't leave. Now, we may one day. There's a golf course up there that I really love to play, but it's supposed to be pretty bad weather. So I don't even know if we'll be able to do that. I'm not sure we may just have to stay at the cabin in the mountain for the whole time. There's a creek, a nice big kind of wide creek that runs by the front of the cabin. I am taking a light rod with me. And it's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. 4 days in the mountains of North Georgia. And then we're going to slide into Florida on the night of the 3rd. And we'll hang out down there for 4 days to celebrate my oldest daughter's marriage. I mean, they did it in a private ceremony in Belize like 2 weeks ago. And now we're going to get to celebrate it with her and my new son-in-law, who I am very fond of. I mean, he is way up in the son-in-law rankings. I mean, I got some pretty good son-in-laws right now. I mean, I got some solid. I got some pretty, being that I've got 5 daughters. How many daughters? 1, 2. I got 5 daughters. Okay. And I got a couple of pretty good son-in-laws in there. I mean, he's high on the list. I like my son-in-laws. They did pretty good. He's a home builder who also has a captain's license and is a great snook and redfish fisherman. Used to guide inland waters, off the coast of Southwest Florida. They got a 25-foot contender with a 300 horsepower Yamaha on the back, and they live right on the canal that dumps right into the Caloosahatchee River. So that'll be a good time. I'm actually going to try and do this like a real vacation, not a working deal. I mean, a real vacation. Yesterday, I put this week's episode of Bassmaster Radio to bed. And by the way, there's a dude that I have on the show. They're all Alabama guys this week for whatever. I mean, Wes Logan, who won a tournament 2 weeks ago at 10 killer, won $100,000. Guy who finished 3rd in that tournament is Kyle Welsher. He's an Alabama guy. And also on the show this week is a guy by the name of Mikey Balls. You might, well, it's not his real last name, but that's what he goes by, Mikey Balls. Check him out. Check him out on the YouTube. He is a YouTuber. He's a great fisherman. He lives in Harvest, actually, and fishes Gunnersville a lot. Fishes all the Tennessee River Lakes. But he grew up fishing in Florida. Grew up in Florida, was down in southwest or southeast Florida. South Florida, they call it. And so he loves fishing in the grass of Florida, and he loves Gunnersville. And he does a ton of videos on the YouTube, Mikey Balls Fishing. It's Balzz. He's a funny guy. He's a good guy. He's kind of a skateboarder guy, to be honest with you. You guys might know him. I mean, somebody's listening to me right now. You're like, I know Mikey Balls. He lives in Harvest, Alabama. He does. He lives not too far from where I used to live. So Mikey's on the show this week, and he is exactly how he is on the videos. He's exactly how he is on the videos. That's how that dude is. But this is not a working vacation. This is a real thing. So I put that show to bed. I've already put next week's show to bed. I did a Winning Ways show for Bassmaster Radio. So that show's been put to bed. Next week, all week long, you'll get network programming from ESPN. For those of you that are listening on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, you'll get CBS Sports Radio programming. For those of you listening at WNSR, those of you listening at WCDT in Winchester will get ESPN programming. You're just going to get that stuff. You're going to get network programming. Everybody's off. It's a holiday week. It is what it is. We welcome those of you that are watching on the X and the Facebook and on the YouTube. You can check that out if you haven't yet. You can snag the video at my X feed. If you're looking at the video on my X feed, what you'll see, or on whatever platform, is a sunrise behind me. It's not a sunset. That's a sunrise. I'm vibing. I'm getting ready for this. All right. I got the vibe going, so I'm getting ready for this. That's why I chose that background here today. I am not, I know it looks like I'm actually broadcasting from the water, but I'm not. Okay. That's a background. I just thought I would drop that on you there, though, so that you can check that out. I'm getting into mood, if you will. There are 6 signals carrying the show, but only one phone number, 256-5764-977. You can jump in there right behind LSU Lynch if you want to do that. You can text the show, 7329-TA show. That's 732-982-7469. Great way to communicate with us. Today is the last day for our special 3-day sale at Big Zone Deals. So get your account set up and take advantage of that. We are working on some big Nash deals as well. So keep an eye out for those too. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, Ken Cross from College Hoops Watch will join us to discuss what a 76-team March Madness field would look like. But do we really need this? Do we need this? I mean, assuming it's like a 4-team play-in to each region, I mean, what's the entry point? Are they playing to be the 16 seed? Are they playing to be the 12 seed? Who's calling for this? Is there clamoring amongst the fans for this? Do we need 6 games on Tuesday and Wednesday before the tournament starts? Or is this the tournament? There are 355 D1 basketball programs in the country right now. 19% make it to the tournament. I mean, that's a thing. Just to get into the tournament, that's a thing. I don't understand this. Maybe Ken Cross does. I don't understand who's clamoring for this. Has there been people saying, and 64 was perfection. They started this abomination when they went to 65, and then he went to 68, and screwing up our bracket. 64, they stumbled. Look, when I was a kid, it was 24. Then it was like 48 or something like that. Then they went to 64, I think, in 1985. Put the crack research team on it. I think it became 64 in 85-ish. And they stumbled into perfection because of the bracket. I mean, it became perfection. Because 64 and then 32 and then 16 and then 8 and then 4 and then, I mean, it's perfection. And everybody's trying to duplicate it. They used to reseed in the NHL and in the NBA. They don't anymore because they want a bracket. They want people to do bracket. Now NASCAR's got a bracket. It starts Sunday. They got a bracket. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but they got a bracket. Right there. Bracket. Anyway, at the top of the one, former Titans and Rams head coach Jeff Fisher is back. He is now the commissioner of Arena Football 1. He'll join us as the Nashville Cats will play for the league title tomorrow at noon in Albany. The game will be on Vice TV. The Cats opened the season 0-2 and then made sweeping personnel changes, went 6-2 the rest of the way, earning the 2 seed in the playoffs. They beat Southwest Kansas Storm last weekend in the semis in Clarksville, while Albany is a perfect 11-0 right now. So what's the future of this league in this crowded landscape of spring sports? Where are we going? Where are we going? Are they going to get to play in Nashville more in the future? Is it, they had multiple locations. We had teams that were in and out. I am a huge arena football fan. I love arena football. I'd love arena football. Broadcast arena football for 12 or 13 years. Love it. Broadcast arena football in Southwest Florida, in the Tennessee Valley, and in Nashville. Did AF2, did the AFL, did other leagues. I love it. I love it, but I don't know where we're going with it. How do you compete? How are you going to compete with the UFL, the outdoor game? Can we just, this is the indoor game, this is the outdoor game? I mean, and by far, Nashville's the biggest market in the league. So will they attract other big markets? We'll talk about that with Jeff Fisher. Alabama recruiting got a lot healthier yesterday with commitments that they got from a couple of high 4-stars. 6'5", 230-pound tight end Max Sutter is the top kid in the state of Illinois, the number 7 tight end in the country. Commits to Alabama. And Jackson, Alabama, not North Jackson, but Jackson, Alabama, way down in the southwest corner of the state, I believe. Jackson, Alabama, running back Xavier Crowell. It goes by EJ Crowell. He's the number 3 or number 4 running back in the entire country, depending on whose service you're looking at. Now that's a little different. Not like number 97 running back that they had on the. Now they got the number 3 or number 4 running back in the country. That's a big deal. And no, he is not related to Isaiah Crowell. I know the first thing you might have thought was, wait a minute, is he related to Isaiah Crowell? No, he's not. He's not related to Isaiah Crowell. Maybe you weren't thinking that, but I told you that anyway. So the Tide shoot from 8th in the SEC to 4, and from 30 to 11 nationally. In terms, remember, it's a numbers game, though. They still only have 11 or 12 total commits. If you go by average ranking of the players, the average stars, the average score, however you want to call it, of the actual players that are on their list, if you look at that right now, they have they're like 4th. Just a fraction behind LSU. LSU has, in terms of quality, LSU has the best class right now. LSU, Oregon, and Ohio State, and then Alabama. So that's where, I guess it'll be okay. That's where they lived. And I stumbled on a little note from Chris Vanini regarding the move of Texas State from the Sun Belt to the Pac-12. And I'll tell you what that all means as well, because it's going to be very interesting what's going on there. So back at Mission Control, I mean, just running around like a maniac today, playing the Platters That Matter, the Stacks of Wax, answering the phones, living large and in charge on a Friday. What? It's Baby Abe.
Of the show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put the thing together on a spin polish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Give me back my son.
I don't like violence, Tom. I'm a businessman.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
You ain't first. You're last. He's got Abraham now.
What a catch!
What a catch! A leaping catch at the 45-yard lines, and he brings it in.
Wow. Yeah, filling in for Joe Hunk today. I'm sure that by now maybe some of you, maybe not, have heard about the just the sad news that came out of UAH this week, where the associate athletic director and basically the SID at UAH, Sam Baldwin, passed away suddenly at age 34. 34 years old. And Sam is a guy, worked closely with John when John was at UAH and he was in the communications department, and worked closely with Joe. Joe works for UAH as well. Joe Hunk does. Of course, worked closely with Steve Moulton and Scott Tyson down there, who do those games, the basketball games and so on and so forth. And Sam Baldwin just died, 34 years old. And the service is today, right about now. So Joe and Steve are there. Scott's probably there representing the station, and John and I'll do this Sports Talk Radio show. John, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing well. A little bit of a downer to start off my segue into the show, but you knew
Sam. You worked alongside him at times.
When I was still a student at UAH, me and Bailey, we worked alongside of him, and he was the first one that really brought us in and was like, "Oh, we got ourselves some heavy hitters right here, some really workhorses." And he's a kind guy all the way down to his heart. And all he did was focus on bettering that school and helping them, reach what they needed to reach when it comes to, getting the info out there to people. So definitely it's some tough news to hear. But over on the Alabama recruiting side, I think I was the only person that related Crowell to Isaiah Crowell on the Cleveland Browns.
So you thought when I said Crowell, EJ Corral, wait a minute. Is he related to Isaiah Corral? Isaiah Corral was out of the Montgomery area, I believe.
Yeah.
And of course, ended up having some decent years with the Cleveland Browns. So that's probably why you thought about him maybe a little bit.
Yeah. I might have been the only person who made that connection outside of maybe you.
I don't know. I mean, he has connections, obviously with the SEC and, somebody else might have thought of that or thought that, Isaiah Corral could be that guy.
Yeah. But whenever you bring up his name, the first name you don't think of Isaiah Crowell. You don't. And whenever Drew brought his name up a few weeks back, whenever he was talking about who Alabama's looking at, that was the first response. I was like, oh, that reminds me a lot of another guy that I know that has a similar name. And it took me back to 2014, all of that stuff. So
yeah.
Crazy.
He's depending again on the service location, the number 2 recruit in the state of Alabama. So that's a good get for Alabama there. All right, let me get LSU Lynch in here before we get to the break. LSU Lynch, welcome in. How are you?
So let's go back to this vacation thing. He's talking about why are you still crying and whining? Why are you crying and whining? Well, I'm on vacation. So we all know you're on vacation. We want you to go on vacation.
Yeah.
Ain't no reason to be whining.
No, it's going to be like, I'm not whining about it. I'm just saying it's going to be a real vacation. This is going to be one of them working things. This is going to be one of them real vacation. Here's the problem. What did we do back in the day before we had the email and the internet and the phone, especially with the thing? I was like, man, maybe we just turn the phone off for a couple of days. But I got 9 kids and 14 grandkids, and I'm terrified to not be in touch with them in case something happens. You know what I mean? I mean, they're all grown. I mean, Baby Abe is the baby in the group, and he's like 25 years old. They're all grown people, my kids. But I'm terrified of like being completely cut off and then turning the phone on 4 days later and find out that something happened, negative, or that they needed me. So I guess I'll stay connected to a certain extent.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. My shout out today is to all the fans here, especially the legends. Just call in and harass the man, because it's happy anniversary, baby. Got you on my mind. Go LSU.
Kind of an important day for you, John, because if this didn't happen 45 years ago, there's no you. You know what I mean? There's no Captain Cool. There's no Captain Awesome. I mean, my sons all have very high opinions of themselves. There's no Knuckle Dog. I mean, none of all y'all even exist. I mean, think about that. There's no all them grandkids. There's none of them people. I mean, I suppose there would there would be other people. I'm not saying the earth would not be populated if it wasn't for, me marrying, my wife.
I mean,
in 1980.
It'd take away a substantial amount of the population here in the Southeast. That's for sure.
Of the good people, I mean, of good people, not the good people. You know what I mean? Of good people. These are some good people. We made some good people. I mean, we got artists and musicians, and I mean, we got a bunch of good people. We didn't make any knuckleheads. Hey, think about it. Honestly, I mean, I know I'm bragging on my kids, but we did not make any knuckleheads. We got good people. We got some good, hardworking people that we made, and now they made people.
We can still be knuckleheads. Come on, now.
Knuckleheads. Yeah,
embrace it.
I hear you. Embrace the knucklehead. Trying to embrace why my printer won't print. It's set, I go to the printer thing, they have that little printer app thing on my laptop.
I'm sorry, I cannot help you with your printer problems right now.
It says ready. It's got a green check mark and it says ready. But then when I go to print, it says printer offline. And it says when I go on the printer's attached via what do you call it there? Ethernet cable to my. I think I think my router is crapping out. I think I got a garbage router. I got to get rid of this router.
Maybe Ken Cross can help you with that one.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure he can or not. But so it's acting wonky. And I know what the fix is. It always seems to be the fix is to turn my laptop off and back on. And then everything kind of comes back to the world. But I've got like 62 tabs open. And I only have to make it now an hour and 36 minutes. In an hour and 36 minutes, I can shut this thing off and reboot it. Now, I got work to do, but I can reboot it and not lose all these stories that I have up here. One of them is a 76-team tournament, which we apparently are getting very close to getting. By the way, John, have you made a bracket out?
No, I have not. No, I have the fantasy app, though, for NASCAR, so I'll be keeping up with it that way. But
what do you mean? What fantasy app for NASCAR?
I have the NASCAR app, and it's got fantasy on it.
Yeah, but did they do the bracket?
They always
do it? Can you make out a bracket? I know you have $1 million bracket. I wanted to have a bracket that we could have that, we could play a bracket. Well, why don't you make out a bracket? They got the in-season challenge. The TNT Sports is in-season challenge presented by DraftKings. And I have the bracket in front of me. 32 guys are bracketed. You're a gearhead. I'm a gearhead. We should make out a bracket between you and I. I can't talk to Joe about this. Joe, I don't know. He wants to ride in a rickshaw or something. I don't understand how a red-blooded American born and raised in the state of Alabama isn't into NASCAR. But you are, and I am. Make a bracket out.
We'll see about it. I love watching the races and enjoying the conversations. But
isn't this going to be better? I mean, this is going to be cool because while you're watching the race, you'll be like, how is Tyler Reddick doing against Kyle Larson? I got Larson. All right, I got Larson over Reddick. That's a 10 versus 23 seed. And we'll be watching, like the races within the race. I think it's going to be kind of cool. Ross Chastain and the Jones kid. That's a 13-20 matchup.
I would not sleep on Eric Jones or John Hunter Nemechek. Those guys have been really good as of late.
Nemechek's a 12 seed. He's taking on Todd Berry this week in the what is it? Josh Berry?
Yeah, it's Josh.
Josh Berry this week in the 12-21 matchup, the 42 and the 21 matching up. And so like if there's a wreck and the guys get knocked out, it's like, oh! How about Bowman and Logano? Logano's a 25 seed. He's having a rough season, man. The seeding was based on the last 3 races. That's how they got today. Let's get a break. Ken Cross is coming up next. We'll talk about basketball brackets. We'll do that next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's tonight.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's gonna fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
John Abraham here for the parts department at Bobcat of Huntsville. Not only do these guys carry genuine OEM Bobcat parts, they also have a full line of Marshalltown concrete supplies. On top of that, they have a wide selection of arborist tools and supplies on hand for you tree guys. Bobcat of Huntsville also has a full service department, and don't forget the sales and rental guys too. Come on down and visit the all-new Bobcat of Huntsville location in Madison on Highway 20 next to the Redstone Harley-Davidson.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White, his team takes great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Your Home Window, because you know when it comes to replacement windows or exterior doors or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, and Hartselle. And right now they've got the 4th of July sale going on. Now it's already going on through the end of July. You get 40% off on all windows and 45% off on all doors. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
Boats floating on the sapphire breeze, so we're between heaven and the tall pine trees. Hard land, I'm missing you.
It's Football Friday. Features all football music. I can't remember whose theme song that is, but we'll have to cut him some slack. Baby Abe in there for Joe Hunk.
I'll get the next one.
Yeah, you get the next one. And talk a little college basketball right now. Of course, the NBA draft wrapping up last night. Why is the NBA draft a 2-night thing? I mean, it's 2 rounds. Can we get that done all at once or what? I mean, what do we really need to do 2 nights of the NBA draft? But there's a lot of talk that we're going to get a 76-team tournament. It's coming sooner than later. I mean, it could be announced anytime They'll probably announce it like 5 o'clock on July the 3rd. So that everybody can calm down before they start talking about it the following week. But joining us now, a guy that does a tremendous job in all things basketball. He is Ken Cross from College Hoops Watch. Ken, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Well, I'm great, Tom. I hope you're well.
I am well. Looking forward to a little week off next week with the holiday and everything else. So we need to get that in because you know what happens next. We're about 2 weeks out from SEC Media Days, and you know how that circus gets things going. Now it's like almost a whole week now, 4 days of SEC Media Days, and then it's on.
I know, and I really wish, here's the thing for me with basketball, I really wish basketball would encapsulate the SEC network like it is on the ACC and the Big Ten. The SEC now in basketball is the top league in the nation, and it should be treated. It's not just a football conference anymore.
No. It's although there were 8 players from the Big Ten that got drafted and only 5 from the SEC in the first round, 4 from the ACC, but 5 from but 4 of them were from Duke, or 3 of the 4 were from Duke that came out of the ACC. I don't know what's happened to the ACC.
Well, you can't. The thing is, you can't judge the conferences by how many people are drafted because people draft on what they need more anyway than what the players are. The ACC, fell by the wayside with the fact that, you have Duke. Duke is all that is promoted or projected by the national networks. The ACC buys into that. Do you ever look at that ACC network and wonder why Duke, Clemson, and maybe North Carolina are the people anymore that are all the way on there? How many times have you seen the Stanford Cardinal show on the ACC network?
Yeah. Stanford. That's still so silly. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-boggling that what goes on there.
It's crazy.
It's absolutely crazy.
They let the NCAA just do all of this stuff with absolutely no ceiling, no ramifications or anything. They said, "Here, take this." It's ridiculous.
So the only thing left for the NCAA to do is to run tournaments, and obviously the big cash cow for them is March Madness, and this thing has grown over the years. Obviously, I mean there was a time, you and I are old enough. I don't remember this in particular, but there was a point in time when the NCAA tournament was like the NIT. The NIT was the thing. You wanted to go to the in the 50s before we were born. You wanted to go. The NIT was the bigger deal. And then if you didn't make the NIT, you end up at the NCAA tournament. And then the worm turned on this thing. But I remember when I was a kid, it was like 24 teams. And then it kind of grew and grew. And they landed on 64. I think in 85, we got to 64. And it was like the perfect number. They stumbled into the perfect number. And then I want to grow it more. So who's calling for this? I mean, is there a big uprising out there that says we need more than 64?
I don't think so. Most of the coaches and the people I've heard and I've talked to, they don't want this to be something where, by the way, teams that finished, 18 and 16 and maybe were put out in the semifinals of the conference tournament are actually going in there. And I think that's, from power conferences, it needs to be, if they're going to, introduce more teams in there, they need to make sure that they don't water this down from some of these Big Ten teams, or really now some ACC teams that don't belong. The Big Ten, if you ever look at it in football, after you get through the first, 3 or 4 teams, the rest of them couldn't win the Sun Belt Conference. And the way it's perpetrated and portrayed, I mean, are you going to watch Minnesota play Nebraska this season on a Saturday afternoon when Florida may be matched up with Tennessee?
All right.
Yeah.
No, Yeah, no, I hear you 100%. And I wonder, how does 76 work? I mean, it's 12 more than 64. So are we talking about 4 teams in each region that are going to play in to what? I mean, is it the tournament or is it the play in? Is it the first 4 for each region? And you wonder, where are they entering? Are they playing into a 12 spot, or are they playing? If you tell me you're going to have 4 teams in each region play off to be the 16 seed to get whacked in the first round by the 1 seeds. Oh, okay. More access. Oh, all right. But I don't know how they're going to play them off. Are they going to play off into the 12, or that doesn't seem fair? That they've got to win 2 more games just to get into the tournament.
Oh, I agree. I think they'll start these in Dayton as well, and maybe one other venue.
Yeah.
And they'll have like the first 2 days of the tournament, maybe Monday and Tuesday, where you play these entries, and then the other, the other 4 teams, you'll play all of those teams into the 64, which will start on Thursday. So, I mean, if you want to add it, I guess add it, but it really doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like an additional, it's like a little mini 12-team tournament or something to get in. I always said too, like with the NIT, maybe there should just be a preseason NIT, you know what I mean? And have like one NIT before the season. Because now we got all these other tournaments as well that happen afterwards. But there's 355 teams now that play Division I basketball. About 19, a little more than 19%. Make it into the tournament at 68. But, when they went from 64 to 65 and then to 68, they screwed up our brackets. And they're like, do we even pick these games? We had an 11 seed that got in, remember, that went to the Final Four, I think the first year when that went down. But it kind of messes up they had a perfect thing at 64. What do we do? Are we supposed to make these out? I mean, the bracket is so important to the tournament. I don't know why we need 12 more teams.
Well, basketball has gotten to where it's more fluid than football, because it feels like college football anymore is played for about 8 or 9 teams. I mean, making sure those teams get into that 12, 14, 16, whatever team playoff, and it goes from there. Here at least you do have a bracket. You do have the play-ins. You need to take for example, the Atlantic 10 has always been a 2 or 3 bid league, but they've only gotten one, I don't know, in the past 6 or 7 years. The Atlantic 10 ought to be a 2 bid league, as should the American Athletic Conference. Things like that. Not putting somebody, say, I don't know, from the ACC or the Big Ten in there, that's an also ran a middle of the pack team that's not gonna they're not gonna have a presence, so to speak.
The NIT can cross with us here. The NIT is actually run by the NCAA as well. If you want to do something stupid, just go ahead and have a 32-team NIT the week before the madness, and then take the final 4 of the NIT, and they get into the 4 regional champions of the NIT. They make it into the tournament, and they go in and they go in that way. I mean, if you feel like you need more basketball, make the NIT mean something, where it means qualification into the NCAA tournament, almost like we have all the conference tournaments that determine, in many cases, who's going to be in the big tournament. Well, then maybe you fit the NIT between the conference tournaments and the NCAA tournament, and that becomes the catch-all for 32 teams around the country to play into 4 spots. I don't know, something like that would make more sense to me. Give me a week of that, and with the understanding that it's not the NCAA tournament, it's the NIT tournament.
Sure, and I agree with you on the preseason NIT. To me, that makes more sense. I mean, something, I'll tell you what I thought was good was the College Basketball Classic in Las Vegas that came on. It was after the Elite Eight and before the Final Four. So you had, 8 teams that were middling teams that finished in the high level, in the middle of the power conferences, and they played some good basketball. There were 2 or 3 one-point games in there that were well played, and well executed. But, for this NIT thing, to keep going on, you've noticed it's turned into a thing where the one-bid leagues have really started to show. Like UC Irvine and Chattanooga played last year. UC Irvine, in my mind, was the better team, but they got upset in the championship, by Chattanooga. So, I mean, it's a deal where there again, if you're going to make it, like the mid-major tournament and stuff, you've got to play it opposite, and I mean on opposite days, multiple games away from the NCAA tournament. I mean, it's like you say, a lot of this stuff doesn't make sense. It feels like nobody's thinking about it.
Yeah, well, welcome to the world of the NCAA. All right, before I let you go, Ken Cross with us, College Hoops Watch. Before I let you go, do we think that NIL is going to change the face of college basketball in as much as kids staying around for a couple of years so we can get to know their names, the one and done? Be honest with you, I almost like the system better where, like in baseball, you know what? If you get drafted out of high school and you think you're good enough and you want to take a shot, go. If you go to college, you got to commit to 2 years or you got to commit to 3 years like you do in baseball, and then you go back in the draft after 3 years, that kind of a thing. At least we get to know these kids a little bit. We barely know their name, and the tournament happens, and then they're gone. But do we think that NIL is going to keep college kids on campus a little bit longer?
Yeah, I think so. But then you look at the first round of the draft, we had 18 freshmen drafted. So it may go from year to year, and that's how you figure it out. What happens this year may not happen next year. The good thing about basketball is, you've got 15 to 17 man rosters, which is a heck of a lot less than over 100, and I think that's why it's way more competitive than football, college football.
Yeah. Yeah. While also, though, with a 5-man, you get one guy that's a stud. He can carry a team. In football, you got to have a little bit more than that. I think that's, part of the reason that happens. Ken Cross has been our guest. Ken, it's good to catch up with you, my friend, and enjoy making out a 76-team bracket when the time comes.
Oh, I will. I'll have your 65 through 76. I'll have them invented somewhere.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I don't know. It just, to me, it's messing with perfection. Just messing with perfection. I don't get it. All right, we get a break. When we come back, tale of two cities, a tale of two stadiums. I'll explain when we return on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Mets blanked the Braves yesterday 4-0 to split the 4-game set with Atlanta. Today, the Braves host the Phillies at Truist Park. Bryce Elder on the mound for the Braves, 2-4, 4.77 ERA, $1.44 favorite. Mick Abel for the Phillies, minus 118, 9 over the total at Truist Park. Coming up today, the NASCAR Xfinity Series at the Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta. Austin Hill, the plus 220 favorite. The Cup Series tomorrow night at the Echo Park Speedway. Ryan Blaney, the 8-1 favorite. Joey Logano plus 850. Austin Cindric 9-1. William Byron 10-1. And Kyle Busch 14-1. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted Best Wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Thom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today. Thom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. You know it's hot outside, so cool down with an upright or chest freezer in stock at Owen Home Appliance Center. And don't let those beverages get hot. Get an under-counter ice machine with a built-in pump for just $12.99. Or how about a fridge out by the pool or in the garage for extra cold drinks? You can get a scratch and dent 18 cubic foot refrigerator for just $349 while supplies last. Go to owenappliance.com to learn more. That's owenappliance.com.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
I'm Fox 54 meteorologist Emily Owen. A quiet night expected across the Tennessee Valley for this Friday night. Low temperature is going to be falling into the low 70s for the overnight. Heading into Saturday, expect to see partly sunshine. Scattered showers and thunderstorms return in the afternoon. High temperatures warming into the lower 90s once again for the day.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the show is brought to you by Owen Home Appliance Center. You know, it's kind of hot outside, so you might want to cool down with an upright or chest freezer, which are in stock at Owen Home Appliance Center right now. And don't let those beverages get hot. Get yourself an under-counter ice machine. You can get a built-in pump for just $12.99. Or maybe you need a fridge out by the pool or in the garage to keep those drinks cold. You can get a scratch and dent 18 cubic foot refrigerator for just $349 while supplies last. Go to owenappliance.com to learn more.
Fire talking.
I'm talking about. Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. You know, we got some baseball stadiums that have been around a minute, and nobody ever talks about replacing like Wrigley Field. They don't talk about replacing Fenway Park. Now, they built a new Yankee Stadium in 2009. That opened. And they had to tear down the old Yankee Stadium, which was decrepit and falling apart, and so on. They had renovated the original Yankee Stadium opened in the 20s, and they renovated that in early 70s, 74, 75. Yankees played 2 years. They played at Shea Stadium, Shea Stadium was another old stadium that got tore up. But in the football fields, the football stadiums, I mean, we're building a new stadium every 25 years now. These stadiums don't last at all. Now, Soldier Field is 100 years old, okay? The Bears have played there since 71. The Bears used to play at Wrigley Field, okay? But they've played at Soldier Field since 71, all right? But that's going to get replaced. I mean, they're building a new stadium. They're going to build a new stadium. They don't know what it's going to be, but they're going to build a new stadium at some point in time there. It's going to leave Lambeau Field as the oldest stadium. Nobody's talking about doing anything with Lambeau Field. Lambeau's been renovated time after time after time. It's the second largest stadium. It's in by far the smallest city, but with 81,000 seats, it's the second largest stadium. It is not going anywhere. Then there's Arrowhead Stadium in 72, and that's getting replaced. The Bills Stadium, I went and saw Buffalo Bill games with my daddy at War Memorial Stadium. And I remember when Rich Stadium, as it was called at the time, opened in 73, it was state-of-the-art. Now it's like the third or fourth oldest stadium, and that's getting replaced. And then there's the Superdome, opened in 75, Hard Rock Stadium. I mean, you don't have to be that old to remember the Dolphins playing at the Orange Bowl, right? The Hard Rock Stadium is pretty old now. Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville, they're renovating that. Bank of America, the stadium was built for the Panthers. But Cleveland Browns Stadium was built in 99 at the same time that the Titans Stadium was built, that Nissan Stadium was built. It was Adelphia at that time. And, of course, obviously the new stadium is underway with the Titans. And the Browns now are pushing hard for a new stadium as well. It was built 1 year before Paul Brown Stadium, whatever they call it now in Cincinnati. So the Browns now are building this $2.4 billion stadium. They've been fighting with the city of Cleveland, and there's this whole issue because there's a Modell rule, and you can't move out of the city and everything else. And the Browns are saying, no, what it really means, you can't move out of the county. They moved the new stadium in Brook Park, where they want to build this new stadium for the Browns, and like a area around it, like Truist Park has, that area around it, is 1 mile outside of the city limits. So that's not the issue. The issue is it's a dome. It's a dome, and it's going to have synthetic turf. And the Cleveland Browns playing in a dome and synthetic turf, $2.4 billion. In the state is chipping in $600 gur. And where that money came from for the state is unclaimed money that the state has been holding. It's like, well, wait a minute. What do you mean? Like bank accounts that were closed that have money in them, deposits on properties and so on. $600 million. And is that the state's money to do whatever they want with? It's not really the state's money. Unclaimed state funds, utility deposits, uncashed cashier's checks, and things like that. At the same time, in Cincinnati, they're extending their lease 10 years, and they're going to spend $470 million to renovate the stadium and continue to play outside. I don't know why they didn't do that in Cleveland. All right, coming up next, Jeff Fisher will join us. Talk about indoor stadium in an arena. Next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
All good things must come to an end. That holds true for employee pricing, too. Hey, folks, it's Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. The last day for employee pricing is going to be July 7th. Up until then, you can buy the new Ford you want and pay what we pay. We've got nearly 150 F-150s to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Had your eye on a Bronco Sport? It's employee priced, and we've got over 60 to choose from. Full-size Bronco, we've got over 40. New shipments of Explorer, Expedition, and Escape have just hit the ground, too. Again, all things must come to an end, and the last day for employee pricing is July 7th. Time to hit it and get it. Employee pricing can save you up to thousands off MSRP. With over 600 Fords to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find exactly what you need. Woody Anderson Ford. It's important to see us before July 7th.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison. Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Massive move made by the Raptors. They're parting ways with the man who helped bring the team its first and only NBA championship in franchise history in 2019. Masai Ujiri out as Toronto's vice chairman and GM. The move comes a day after the conclusion of the NBA draft and 3 days before free agency begins. Members of the Raptors' current front office, including GM Bobby Webster, will remain in place. Texas State has called a Board of Regents meeting for Monday to complete its move to the Pac-12. Bobcats will become the conference's 8th football-playing full member and give that league the minimum number of members to continue as an NCAA conference. First round of the NHL draft is tonight, 7 Eastern ESPN. Islanders have the top overall pick, projected to select defenseman Matthew Schaefer of the Erie Otters of the Ontario Hockey League in ESPN's final mock draft.
You need to be more like a dog. Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about. Be a dog. God bless the show. You are the Messiah. We need more dogs. This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you. So settle in and get your bark on. Now live, here he is, the big dog, Thom Abraham.
How you doing? Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Bill McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get it off my head.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show here on a Football Friday in the Doghouse. So glad that you are with us. Again, reminding you, those of you that are just jumping in now, there are a number of different ways to consume the show. Those of you, of course, that are listening in Nashville over the air on WNSR, those of you listening in Winchester on WCDT, those of you listening in Huntsville, Alabama, our flagship station, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone as well. And, of course, those of you watching online on the X and the Facebook and the YouTube, you can check that out as well. We will get the phone lines going in a little bit. And, of course, that number is 256-576-4977. Doesn't matter where you're listening. It's always 256-576-4977.
97.7. The text window is open as well. If you want to text the show and you can't make a phone call, you want to get your thoughts in, it's 7329 TA show, 732-982-7469. That is a great way to communicate with us. The Nashville Cats are playing for the Arena Football One Championship coming up tomorrow, and that will be at noon, and you can watch it on Vice TV. Jeff Fisher, of course, is the commissioner of Arena Football One and has been working tirelessly to get this thing built and get it running, and he is scheduled to join us here in a moment or two. I don't know, John, if we have Coach yet or not, but I guess we do have Coach, so that's great. He joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, Tom. I'm doing great, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Nice and cool out there in Montana, right? And you got to come back to the heat of the dirty South now here.
You know what I did? I got to Montana, and then yesterday I came into Albany, New York. We got a little event going on. So I'm happy to report that temperatures in the 60s here in Albany, New York. The low in Montana when I was up at the cabin was 28 3 days ago.
My.
So, so we missed all of it. But here we are. Things are starting to heat up, though, here in Albany, New York, for good reasons.
Yeah,
so thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, Arena Crown coming up tomorrow at noon. I heard a rumor. Now, Albany is a heck of a football team. You know, they're 11-0. They've run the table this season so far. I heard a rumor, though, that this game might be sold out. Is that what they're anticipating? They're going to have a big crowd there for this game?
Yeah, that's my understanding. This is a storied franchise. They locked their playoff stuff up 5 or 6 weeks ago and locked up home field and all that business. All they had to do was knock off Salina, and they did that. And so, we've been here several times. Came up here earlier in the season. Great fan support. There's second generational, players here in Albany. Dad's played for the Firebirds or whoever else they were. You probably know better than I do, Tom, who they were referred to back when. But it's a great indoor arena football market and great fan support. So as it worked out, the Cats end up finding a way in, and we're really looking forward to see how this game unfolds.
They've been the Firebirds as far as I know. Your coach Darren, he played there in like '92 with those guys, or not? I don't know. I'm sorry, he coached there. He was coaching fullbacks and linebackers back in 1992 with the Albany Firebirds. So I think they've been the Firebirds and then ironically, he ends up at the San Jose SaberCats. The guy's a legend. I mean, coach is just an absolute legend. He won 4 championships in the AFL with the SaberCats. And early on, his big nemesis, when you were going to the Super Bowl, he was getting beat by the Nashville Cats back then, in 2001. So
we've had many conversations since bringing him on board. So, and I'll tell you a little secret. He we got a little late start, which you and I have talked about, and he had a week of camp, and then we had to go play a game, and then, he's just putting the roster together, and he just said, be patient. He goes, what I'm doing, and I'm going to do it all year, is I'm going to build my team to beat the Albany Firebirds in the championship game. That's what he's been saying for weeks. And lo and behold, with the win, at F&M Bank Arena last weekend against Southwest Kansas, he's going to get an opportunity to put his team on the field and watch him go. So looking forward to it. He's been doing it. He's a handful of wins away, or 2 handfuls of wins away from being the all-time winningest coach in this indoor game. So he's the real deal. He's got a plan, and they got in yesterday afternoon. They're getting walkthroughs, and we got a little banquet tonight, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
He turned his roster over pretty good. He comes out of the shoot 0-2, and he starts, shaking it down from top to bottom. He's the GM as well. And once he got the right guys in there, the 6-2 run, and then the win in the playoff. So, it's a different team. I know you played Albany twice during the season. Once very early on, and then once about mid-season, and that thing was about a 150-point game. But once he got Tyler Kukla in there at quarterback and got some of his other guys in there that he wanted, and obviously, It's a totally different team than it was those first couple of weeks.
Yeah, it is, and that's the exciting part of this game is that you can change the rosters, and there's so many really good players that are out there that are available, that fit, that create good matchups, and Albany's had they got a reputation for they've got a pretty good NIL thing going up here in Albany, and so. They're going to get some good players in here, and so they've just been sitting around taking care of business and just waiting on this game. It's like for the last 4 or 5 weeks, they've had just one thing circled on the calendar, and that's the Crown Bowl, if you will. And so here it is. But I like the chances, and I'm wearing 2 hats, as you know. I want both teams to win. I want to see a game come right down to the end, but I think a matchup, this matchup that we have to finish our inaugural season couldn't be any better.
A case can be made. I did AFL and AF2 games for years, 13 years, and I loved the indoor game. There was no doubt about it. And during the heyday, it was amazing. What killed, in great measure, what killed the AFL really was salaries, player salaries, and it kind of got out of control. You mentioned the NIL thing. You are the commissioner of the league. Is there a rigid salary cap? Is there something that says, okay, this is it? You can have, this is what the teams can pay, but the guys, of course, can make whatever they want. If they want to go do an appearance at a car show and make an extra grand on the side, that's their business.
Well, that's kind of how it's set up now, and I think the system's working. Now we had several other, the franchises that just had a hard time, catching up or keeping up with that, and so we're working to try to improve their opportunities. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. And so Darren, on the other hand, because we got a late start in Nashville this year, didn't get that opportunity. It looks like that opportunity is staring him right between the eyes up in Clarksville. So he's excited about the future. So yeah, but that's how it works. I mean, it's an interesting way to go about it, but it works, and you're accurate when you say, and obviously you've been around this much longer than I have, but as I was doing the research and historical stuff, that's exactly what happened. It just got a little bit out of hand, and then next thing you know, you got a players union, and which is we'll all welcome that when that comes, but you need to kind of keep things in check. But I think for the most part, AF1 kept it in check this year. We did have a couple lopsided games, but that nobody likes to see. But for the most part, we had some great matchups, and Albany had some near misses, mind you, too. I mean, it wasn't like they cruised through this thing, but I think things are shaping up.
There were some funny stories about it. Someday you can write a book about all the crazy stories that happened back in the day in the league. I mean, we had a kid in Florida with the Florida Firecats that he had played with the Atlanta Falcons for about 4 years. And it was a salary cap there. It was $200 a game, and that was it. And everybody was like, and everybody was cheating like crazy and so on. And they brought this kid in, and all of a sudden there's this big ruckus. We're supposed to be getting
if you can hear me. Oh, there we go. I lost you there just for a second.
Man, crazy stories from back in the day.
Oh, there are. Gosh, I mean, I sit around with
Jerry.
You remember John Fry, and Jerry Kurz is here. We just finished a meeting with Jerry. Jerry's got all kinds of stories, and Gary Compton is here. He's our director of football ops, and he remembers, he was talking about earlier, he played for a team that went 0-12 when they sold out every game. They had 10,000 people at every game. They went 0-12. So we're right on the edge of bringing everything back. And so again, I keep saying, go ahead.
I was going to say, when the Tennessee Valley Vipers opened up against Birmingham, the Steel Dogs down there in Birmingham, they had 16,000 people at the game, AF2, and it's 16,000.
We need to put a team down there in your backyard.
I'm telling you, man, you need that. You definitely need to have a team somewhere in this neck of the woods. Now, to that, let's just talk a minute about the future. You mentioned Clarksville. You played games up there. played a little bit at the odd. What is the future for the Cats? I mean, is it Clarksville, or do you think that it's you're going to be able to get into the city proper? What's the plan?
Well, we've got we've got a lot of things to sort out. We have a great opportunity in Clarksville. We still love the municipal auditorium. We had just under 4,000 at our second game at municipal this year, and so there's a great fan base in Nashville. And we had a lot of people come up from Nashville to Clarksville, and so at F&M Bank Arena, it's a new venue. It worked really, really well for us the last 2 weeks. We were just sort of a sellout there last week in our win over Southwest Kansas. And, you can imagine how close we were watching the Salina Albany game, because had Salina been able to pull that one off, we'd have hosted the Crown. And in addition to that, it would have been our third consecutive week there. So we already missed F&M Bank Arena. We're going to be spending a lot of time with them, looking at dates and looking at opportunities. And in the perfect world, we'll still be able to have a game or two down in Nashville. But we're looking at the possibility of getting a club up there. I think it's a great opportunity for not only the league, but also for the Cats.
Would they be the Tennessee Cats if they went up there, or full time, or would it still be Nashville?
Well, I don't know. I'm going to have to consult with you after the season's over.
All right. So now put your commissioner hat on. Nashville, clearly the biggest market, in the league. You stabilized as the season went on. It seems like you kind of stabilized with the teams that you had, with the 8 teams. And I like that only 4 made the playoff. You didn't take everybody to the playoff. And some teams played different games than others. Do you feel like do you feel like there's expansion at some point in time coming? Or do you feel like you can get it standardized where everybody's playing 10, 12 game season?
Well, it's coming. We started those preliminary discussions this morning, but expansion's around the corner. And, the length of season, whether it's 10 games, 12 games, really depends on how many teams we bring in. We've got a deadline. We need to, qualify, do a better job than people have done in the past, so to speak, and qualifying the new franchises. And the last thing you can do is have to take on the financial responsibilities of new members. You don't want to do that. So we're qualifying them, but there will be more than 8 teams in participating with AF1 in the 26 season. How many more? It could be 2, it could be 4, it could be 6. But, the other thing is, and is just the travel. I mean, that's what creates problems and financial issues. This year, I think Albany and Washington played 3 different times. That just doesn't make sense. And so we're trying to, set teams up more from a regional perspective, if you will, just to keep the Kansas teams in play and, just eliminate a lot of the unnecessary travel. Bus trips aren't bad if they're a couple hours, and, it's just that's the way this league is. But we're going to we will have a number of new teams in 26.
Yeah, I mean, you got a great corridor where you are, where you're located right now. I mean, you could go north to Louisville, you could go south to Birmingham or Huntsville. I mean, you really could put together a heck of an area, a division, if you will, in the region for sure. The game is tomorrow.
To Columbus,
go to West
Virginia. Yeah, there's a lot of
directions. Nice building in Columbus.
Just spin the compass. Yes, they do.
Yeah, I've done some games down there as well. The game is tomorrow at noon. It is the championship game. They call it the Arena Crown. It will be the championship game for Arena Football 1 and the Cats and the Albany Firebirds. Those are big time names, when it comes to arena football. So it's something that'd be good. Now, finally, in terms of, a lot of people are saying, well, how much, we got the UFL and then we got the, Arena Football 1. And of course the CFL just started and we heard there was a story there. I mean, it's a 75-year-old league. And they said that only 2 teams made money last year and that, the CFL could be in trouble. Who knows what's going on there? But it seems like between the UFL and the arena game, it's not necessarily the same player, right? I mean, you got to look at the game for what it is. It's not like you're necessarily competing over the same players that would play in the UFL or that would play in arena.
Well, that's a great point, and it's one that it didn't take me long. I mean, it took me a couple practices and a game or two to realize that the indoor player is unique.
Yeah.
I mean, starting from the quarterback position to all the positions. I mean, you need length and bulk up inside, and you need on the defensive side, you need big, long, tall corners that can play the ball and compete against the tall receivers. And so, and then it's interesting when you get a guy in there. You call them rookies. That guy have not been on a practice field on the 50-yard field at all. And it takes them a while to adjust and to learn the game. But once they get it, it becomes unique. And, maybe you were back in the days when they were playing the Iron Man, and that was, I mean, their stories of, John Fry and Darren Arbette and people talking to Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones and say, hey, well, let's have a game. And, Jerry said, no, we can't. Ultimately, my guys can't compete with your guys because they don't go both ways. It'd be unfair. You'll beat us. And so even though that, we've gotten away from the Iron Man and gone, into the, just the free substitution, which is player specific to positions, there's still players in the indoor league that don't fit on the 11-man field and vice versa. So there's a unique qualities and characteristics, that are required to participate and excel in the indoor game. And so I don't think we're necessarily competing with the UFL, as far as that's concerned.
I think you did the right thing. I think going with the substitutions and the two platoon is better football because in the past, my memory of always was he's not a great linebacker and he's not a great fullback. He can go both ways, but he's not really great at either. Or he can't, pass pro and he can't rush the passer, but he can go both ways. But now you got guys, I think you got better players. You got real true pass pro guys trying to block real true rushers and that type of thing. And I think it gives you a little bit better football for sure.
Well, I think Jeff, in this day and age, you're absolutely correct. I mean, you don't want to get a pass rusher in here, and then by the way, you need to go play guard on the other side of the ball, and then the guy's getting beat up and beat because he's pass protecting, and the kid didn't want to do that because the NFL is going to look at him whiff on a pass rush and say he can't play. So, the players are really excited. There was some pushback, and obviously, a year ago, and I don't like to bring it up necessarily, but to start the season, they still were hell-bent on playing, with Ironman rules. And, it's just too hard to compute, just to keep track and statistically. So anyway, we went to free substitution, and that's where I think clearly the future. That's where the future is. And, hey, there was a few other things that happened. I mean, you talk about stories. I mean, it was about a month ago now. We were in 6 or 8 weeks into it, and all of a sudden we started to see a little tush push going on. Well, do you really want the tush push in indoor football when you can't penetrate and go low? It's just, it's injury. It's just the injury waiting to happen. So we wrote rules. I mean, we're not going to let it in. So we've done some things from a officiating perspective. We had a mid-season hire with the new supervisor officials, Jason Campagna, that's done an outstanding job pulling together the best. And we got the best crew, an all-star crew, if you will, doing the game tomorrow.
Yeah, I hate the whole tush push thing. Anyway, I'm a fan of the old, what happened to the aiding the runner rule? I mean, it was aiding the runner. You can't do it. I mean, it's not football.
Assisting the runner. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. You talk about the best quarterback in the National Football League in the last 12 to 15 years executing the quarterback sneak was none other than Tom Brady without the tush push. Right. His numbers
I don't have a problem with
up there.
The tush push or the quarterback sneak isn't the issue. The issue is aiding the runner. Lining up a fullback. That Watson kid that got drafted out of Florida, 460 pounds. He actually wasn't drafted. He was signed as a free agent by the Bucks. The kid's 460 pounds, and you know why he's there. I mean, he's just going to line up behind whoever, a tight end or whatever, and then just shove everything into the end zone. or I don't know. It's not football, in my opinion. But that's
it's not, and I agree with you 100%. And that's why I brought up Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady was the best quarterback sneak year available, and no one's pushing him from behind.
Yeah,
so,
that's a good point.
I mean, the sneak is one thing, the push is another, and the league will figure it out. I just hope that there's not any injuries between now and then.
Well, the whole thing in this league has always been, in indoor, has always been one stop per quarter. If you can give me one stop per quarter, we're good. And I think about you as being a defensive guy all your life, and I'm thinking that when Jeff Fisher's watching this, he's got to be throwing up in his mouth a little bit, with the where's the defense, for God's sake?
No, every time I go to a game, I go out there and go, you're missing 3 guys. There's 3 guys missing. But yeah, no, it's one stop. It's about that. I mean, we had 2 weeks ago, we got inside the 1 minute break at the end of the second quarter. A minute left. 23 points scored in the last minute of the second quarter.
Yeah. And you'd be like, why are you letting them in? Oh, that's that 2-for-1 deal. I mean, it's a crazy strategies that are involved in it and everything. But I love the one-on-one part of it. Whenever I would go to practice back when you were at the Titans or when I was coaching, I always gravitated towards those one-on-one drills, the DB and the wide receiver or the O-line, D-line. And that's what this looks like. I mean, when you line up at the end of the day, when you line up an edge rusher and a tackle, I guess we'll call him a guard or a tackle, whatever you call him, with the 3-man offensive line. All that looks like a half-line drill that you're doing in an NFL camp. I mean, it's the same stuff, and so that's I get a kick out of watching that stuff. But,
well, it is. I mean, it's basically you got him and I got him, so let's go. Let's go. And then you got one linebacker that you got to make sure is hovering around the line of scrimmage, or you're going to get some problems and get an illegal defense. But yeah, it's a little bit of zone in the deep in the secondary, but most of it's just man to man. Here we go.
Are you ready to do the trophy handoff? I mean, commissioners, that's what they do. You got to be, the guy to hand the trophy. You might be handing it to the Firebirds. You got to take your cat's hat off. You might be handing it to them, or you might be handing it to your own coach. Do you hand it to yourself? I mean, usually they hand it to the owner. So, like, if the Cats win, do you have to hand the trophy to yourself, or just walk out with the trophy?
This trophy is going to the players and to the coach on either team.
Okay.
They obviously that's a pretty good answer, isn't it, Tom? So
yeah,
I'm excited about it. I'm wearing 2 hats, but I mean, I got into this, and it just seemed like with every twist and turn, I got more and more into it. I don't mean to go back to last year, but there were so many things wrong, and ultimately when the players are mistreated and fans are mistreated and misled, this is not right. This brown thing with the laces is way too special. And so I got in, and I'm having a blast. I'm having a time of my life right now.
So you're committed. You're committed
with good people. I'm committed.
You're committed.
Yeah, I am. Good. I love to fall. I get to fall awful, by the way.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
do a little fishing. I figured a plane lands back in Montana sometime around noon on Sunday. I'm not sure, but
11 a.m. in Bozeman. I'll be at the cabin at 1. Yeah, and I'll have my grandkids on the lake by 2.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice. I'll be in the mountains of North Georgia in a cabin with my wife, celebrating our 45th anniversary. I can't even believe she's 45 years old. Thank you.
I know. Congratulations. Yeah.
All right, man.
Oh boy.
All right.
Good,
Jeff, I appreciate you. Good luck tomorrow with the game.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the support, man. Enjoy the game.
Vice TV is where they can find it tomorrow. Vice TV if you want to watch the game. All right, man. Appreciate you. Thanks. Jeff Fisher. It's a good dude right there. Good dude. All right. Let's get a break. I hope everybody's committed to it, because I think it still has legs. And I've said it to you guys that are listening in North Alabama. I threw it by a couple of people already. The problem is the limited number of dates. But I've said it. I honestly, run properly, I think the VBC would be packed. Can you imagine, John? The Vipers playing the Cats.
Man,
bring
it back.
Away. Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Let me tell you something. I don't know what's going on outside the studio. I'm in my little studio here, right? And all of a sudden, it's like Armageddon out there. I got to go stick my head out here. I mean, we got one heck of a storm that is apparently. I mean, I went and got a drink during the last break, and the sun was shining. And right now, it sounds like Trump is bombing me. I mean, it sounds like he's incoming. I mean, it's cracking out there right now.
Weather has been absolutely crazy here in the Southeast.
Nuts, man. It is nuts. Reminds me of being back in Florida where it rains every afternoon, where you get a storm every afternoon. But you hear that? Can you hear? I don't know if you can hear.
I can hear
that up. Yeah, it's cracking out there pretty good. All right, we'll get a break. When we come back, we'll open up the phone lines. You want to jump on board? You can jump on board next. We got a number of things to get into as well. It's the Thom Abraham Show. Back with more in a moment.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Mets blanked the Braves yesterday 4-0 to split the 4-game set with Atlanta. Today, the Braves host the Phillies at Truist Park. Bryce Elder on the mound for the Braves, 2-4, 4.77 ERA, $1.44 favorite. Mick Abel for the Phillies, minus 118, 9 over the total at Truist Park. Coming up today, the NASCAR Xfinity Series at the Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta. Austin Hill, the plus 220 favorite. The Cup Series tomorrow night at the Echo Park Speedway. Ryan Blaney, the 8-1 favorite. Joey Logano plus 850. Austin Cindric 9-1. William Byron 10-1. And Kyle Busch 14-1. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Huntsville, it's time to rise up. The only Division I football program in the city. Alabama A&M University is back and hungrier than ever. We were close last year, but this year, we're going all the way. It's still Drive for 55, and we're coming for it all. New coach, new staff, new and improved student athlete. Get your season tickets today. The chase is on. And as always, Bulldogs.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. But hurry, this offer is only good through June 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor. We're here for you.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile and your wallet, too. Menu items start at just $7.99, and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99 or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center, where thousands of area residents have gotten world-class care from the Valley's most trusted and experienced group of orthopedic surgeons and medical specialists. So if you have an orthopedic problem and you're considering professional care, TOC is the only logical choice. Whether you have a work-related injury or got sidelined playing a sport you love, you need the best care, the best physicians, the best facility to get you back in the game. And I think you're going to agree that the Orthopedic Center is right for you. Phone lines are open if you want to jump on board on a Football Friday. About 20 minutes or so left to get that done. 256-576-4977 will get you in. Lacrosse is going to take off a little bit. Did you see that ESPN bought in equity stock in the Premier Lacrosse League? The Premier Lacrosse League is outdoor lacrosse, and in fact, there's a game tonight on ESPN Plus. There's certain there'll be like 10 games on ESPN on the linear stations, and then the rest will all be on ESPN Plus. It's the outdoor lacrosse game. ESPN has bought a chunk of the league for to have more summer programming. Of course, ESPN allegedly is bailing on baseball after this season. We'll see whether or not that happens 100%. We think that they still might come back with a smaller package. But the Premier Lacrosse League, I actually have at the very origination of what is this league that is now bought by ESPN, at least bought a portion of by ESPN. I was involved in it at the very, very beginning. They tested. It was at the time it was Major League Lacrosse, and Major League Lacrosse was tested in 4 markets, and the games were carried over the air, and they were carried on this fledgling network called Yahoo. Carried the games as well on some Yahoo Sports Network thing, and they were carried. It's a newfangled technology that had come out in the 1999 that was called streaming radio. Where people could listen to the games over the internet. Nobody could figure it out, but you could listen to the games over the internet. And it was tested in 4 markets, John, before you were born, a year before you were born. And it was a game done in Baltimore, Boston, Rochester, and Buffalo. Okay, there were 4 games that were played, and it was just 2 teams, that kind of played in these 4 markets to test this thing. And the broadcast crew for that on the play-by-play was Damon Amendolara, and on the color was Thom Abraham. And Jake Steinfeld, Body by Jake guy, was the one that was the founder of this. You don't remember Body by Jake, but Body by Jake, I mean, this was like a Nautilus workout type of apparatus. And then that became Major League Lacrosse, which had a lot of success. Then the Premier Lacrosse League debuted around COVID time, and they ended up merging the 2 leagues. And so now it's the Premier Lacrosse League. And the Premier Lacrosse League, now the ESPN has bought a chunk of the Premier Lacrosse League, and that will be in summertime programming on ESPN Plus and ESPN. I prefer the indoor game. The National Lacrosse League, which I was also involved in, I was part of the broadcast team for the Rochester Nighthawks. The National Lacrosse League, which the Buffalo Bandits just won, is wildly popular as well. It's indoor lacrosse. To me, the indoor lacrosse game is much better than the outdoor game. A lot of the purists love the outdoor game, but it's kind of like football. In this particular case, the National Lacrosse League, which many people would call box lacrosse, but National Lacrosse League is outstanding. If I were to tell you the Buffalo Bandit, this is a true story. The Buffalo Bandits, who won the NLL this year again, who was a legendary team in the National Lacrosse League. I did many Bandit games back in the day. The Buffalo Bandit, listen to this, John. The Buffalo Bandits outdrew the Buffalo Sabres on average attendance this year. The Bandits drew like 16,000 a game. 16,000 a game.
That's pretty crazy.
Philadelphia used to draw monster following. The Philadelphia Wings. I mean, it was Jake Berge, Bill Berge's. I don't know these people, but it was. There's great players in it. There's fighting. The Toronto Rock always had a great rivalry with the Buffalo Bandits. Now there's a team in Atlanta area, the Georgia Swarm, Ottawa Black Bears, San Diego Seal, Vancouver Warriors, the Nighthawks, Rochester Nighthawks, my old team, Las Vegas Desert Dogs, Colorado Mammoth. Colorado Mammoth have a huge following. They draw great. Albany Fire Wolves, not to be confused with the Fire Birds. Calgary Roughnecks, Halifax Thunderbolts, the Wings, Philadelphia Wings, and the Saskatchewan Saskatchewan Rush. John, have you ever watched an indoor lacrosse game?
Oh yeah, I was actually watching a Mammoth matchup. I think it was probably that was a few months back, I think. But a humongous logo in the middle of their arena, and it's some fun stuff. I mean, I remember you were watching it a while back whenever I lived with you. But no, I mean, the names, there's a lot of notable names there. The Buffalo Bandits, it's a very good name to have. So it's like you got to build off of these teams that are actually marketable. I mean, there's some of them I've never heard before, but the Buffalo Bandits, like that's a team that hits somewhere within my soul.
I'm going to tell you right now that the PLL, right, the Premier Lacrosse League on ESPN, those games are going to outdraw the MLS. I'm going to tell you that right now. They'll get a bigger audience for the PLL than they're going to get for the MLS when the game's on linear. I believe that. Wolverine Dan is up. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you? He's drowning? Is he like underwater? Wolverine Dan, are you there?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, couple things. First off, happy anniversary and have a great time in the cabin. Okay. hey, listen. And there's another anniversary coming up this year. 100 years of Detroit Red Wings hockey, baby.
Oh, is it the 100th anniversary of the Red Wings?
Yeah, I think we're going to win the cup this year.
I don't think make the playoffs first. How about that? How about make the playoffs first?
We'll make the playoffs. Don't worry about it. Well, it's nice that you're talking to your buddy about the Tennessee Cats. He seems like Fisher. I like Fisher. He's a good guy.
Jeff's a great guy.
He's just an old school football dude.
Yeah, he is.
Anyway, yeah, man, I'm excited, bro. For you, I have a whole week off and take it easy. Don't worry about just forget about it. I just came back from vacation. I'm going on vacation in another 2 weeks. And after that, I'm going on another just take a lot of vacations. Stop the heck with it.
When you retire, what are you vacationing from? You know what I mean? I mean, it's like how many vacation weeks do you got? All of them. You know what I mean? I mean, you're retired, for God's sakes.
Yeah, every day is a day off, Tom.
Yeah.
But you know what? You got to also do things. Like, for instance, today was a very momentous day, a very happy day for me. And I'll tell you, you're going to think it's really silly when I say this, but my neighbor was kind enough to cut down her giant hackberry trees next to my house.
Really?
Yeah, and we're talking leaves constantly It gives off a black soot that it gives off like a sap that's all over the place.
Oh gosh,
So-
I hate that.
Yeah, well, there you go. So they cut them both down, and then I had some extra K-ish in my pocket, and I walked up to one of the guys. I said, "Listen, that crepe myrtle and the hedges. Why don't you just lob everything off at the same height?" So it looks like I got nothing next to me, and I got my place nice and clean and neat, and I'm looking forward to this fall not raking any leaves.
It's good stuff, man. I by the way, I finally, you have this never-ending battle with weeds, always fighting the weeds, especially in the driveway or in the stone. I got a stone parking area that's got weeds all the time, and I'm always out there weed whacking, or I'm doing the weed killer and everything else, and the weed killer like knocks them down. It says, 3 months. No, it knocks them down for 3 days maybe, and then they start kind of coming back and everything else. So I have had this ongoing battle. I hate weeds, and I've had this ongoing battle with weeds. And so I took it to another level. I went and got a blowtorch. Oh yeah, I did. I went and got a 4-foot long blowtorch that hooks up to your propane tank. That is a big blow. I mean, when you light this thing, it's like, it's a blowtorch. You can't do it like near the house, because it might set the house on fire. Can't do it by the fence out back, because I might set that on fire. But on the stones and like along the concrete and things like that, you take trigger.
I got an idea. I got a great idea.
Amazing.
Go ahead, finish up, and I got a great idea.
All right, go ahead.
Well, Joe, mark this section, whatever you call it. Mark this right now when he said he took a flamethrower with a propane tank and add that to the Joe Pacino, and then you can have Thom say it. That'd be perfect, Thom. How about that?
Take a flamethrower to this place.
See?
If I was the man I was 15 years ago, I'd take a flamethrower to this place.
Yeah.
Getting it down
I
now.
put in my propane barbecue tank, and I burned down the weeds, something like that. Add to it, Thom.
Yeah.
That'd be really good.
Yeah, I think it could happen. All right. Thanks for the call, Wolverine. Dan. Have a
All right,
great
listen,
holiday.
It's a safe trip, dude.
All right, thank you. So, John, flamethrower, man, you should see this thing. I mean, it literally throws a flame like several feet.
You still got
it? Oh yeah, I bought it. I bought a flamethrower. This is like, you can light a bonfire with it. You could, if you're doing asphalt work, you use it to loosen up the asphalt and then do, some of that. I'm going to go down the street, Keller Street, alley between the main house and the back properties. I'm going to go down Keller Street. There's like little grass growing in the cracks. I'm going to walk down the street with my flamethrower and hit the area between, the garage where your mother parks her Mustang.
Yeah.
That little garage, between that garage and the fence where there's the weeds are always growing up in there.
Like Rick Dalton from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's the heat. Apparently what it is, it's the heat. I want to burn everything down. I mean, I'm like, you don't have to do that. They say all you got to do is get it near it, because once it wilts the leaves of the weeds, it completely kills them. And I'm going to kill them to the root. I would like to kill them generationally, to be honest with you. I want to be like the bunker buster bomb, that goes through a hole and then goes down 30 miles into the ground and kills something. That's what I want to do with my flamethrower. But you should see it. Listen, if you need to flamethrow anything, you just let me know.
Okay.
People use this. They do it for, like, if you they'll get 2x12s and they'll take a 2x12. I forget what the technique is called. But like if you're building a table or whatever, you're going to build something, and they take the 2x12 and you scorch it with the flamethrower, and you put lines on it, and it gives it a really cool look too. You know what I mean? It gives like that burned look, on the surface. But I'm just getting comfortable with my flamethrower. You don't light this with a match. You don't light this with if you light it with a match, you burn your hand off. You don't light it with a lighter for sure. Lighter will explode. You light these things with a sparker. With a flint. And so I got my little sparker, and I got to back and forth with that, and I got to put the gas on, and let me tell you something. There is no better way to kill a weed than with the flamethrower. I mean, it's so cool. My cousin Vinny is up. Vinny, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, Tom. How are you today, sir?
I am fantastic.
Yes, you are. Hey, did you get the picture I sent you of the bail bond joint up in Nashville when my son took me up to that concert up there?
When did you send that to me?
Oh, it was a couple weeks ago. I tagged you in Grumpy. It was Grumpy's bail bond.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I know of Grumpy's.
Grumpy. Yeah, John knows Grumpy's. Grumpy's Bail Bonds was a sponsor of my show for many years. Grumpy's Bail Bonds.
Okay, so what kind of NIL deal does Grumpy have? That's what I want to know.
He should have a piece of the action there.
There's two reasons why I remember Grumpy's.
I know there's two reasons why you remember Grumpy. The left one and the right one. I don't know, Joe. John.
I hear you there. Hey, I will tell you this, Tom. Because I used to live in upstate New York, and of course, anything above New York City is called upstate over there. But I lived near all.
Everything. Yeah, no. What I used to tell people, everything north of the Tappan Zee Bridge is Canada to those people. When they say you're from New York, oh no, you're from Canada. If you're north of the Tappan Zee Bridge, and the folks that from that region know where that Tappan Zee Bridge is, a few miles north of New York City. And because they always used to bust Phil Rizzuto's chops and say he's already on the Tappan Zee Bridge. In the seventh inning, Phil Rizzuto would be on the Tappan Zee Bridge on the way to Connecticut, and anything north of the Tappan Zee Bridge is Canada. Anyway, go ahead.
Hey, I will tell you what, the best drivers in the world are from New York, because they'll let you go. They're great drivers, but you better be going. You get on that throughway, and you better be moving in New York State. That's all.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we used to go to the Firebirds a lot. All right. And if Huntsville, for some reason, got into the arena football game again, I would be a season ticket holder. I mean, it's a rock video with an indoor football game surrounding it, is what it is. It's just incredible.
I'd love to see it happen. The problem with it is, whenever I talk to the money people, the problem is, and thanks for the call, Vinny, I got to get the break in here. The problem is the limited number of dates. You know, if you're playing like right now they play a 10-game season. If you're playing a 12-game season, you have 6 dates. And it's not enough dates to offset the cost of the arena and to run the arena. So it makes it difficult. It just makes it difficult. Bama Brad says, I'm excited about our running back signing. Congratulations on your anniversary, 45 years. Enjoy your vacation. Yes, you talked about that in the first hour of the show. Not related to Isaiah Crowell. EJ Crowell is, depending on what service you look at, he's the 3rd or 4th best running back in the country in terms of recruiting. And that's a good get. But don't sleep on the tight end. Don't sleep on the athlete from Illinois. That kid there, 6'5", 230 pounds. Don't sleep on that kid either. Suter kid. I mean, we might have something there as well. Good looking flex tight end type of guy. All right, we get a break. We will come back with a final segment next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Thom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve. And we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by my friends at Valley Equipment Rental. You know, we've talked about what they can do for you, the homeowner, but, how about the contractors? Let me talk to those guys for a minute. They got some huge excavators over there. I'm talking about into 30 to 50,000 pound range. They've got the dozers up to 105 horsepower. That's a big dozer. And they got more lifts than anyone around, including the 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000 pound capacity. They've got 2 locations. Check them out. Valley Equipment Rental. Welcome back to Thom Abraham Show. So this weekend, it begins in Atlanta as NASCAR moves to TNT. Same broadcast crew that was doing the races on Prime that did a tremendous job there. But now the in-season challenge is added to it. So this is going to add some juice for sure. Those 5 races on Prime, one of the things that happened there was the viewership, the average age of the viewership got younger. Now, some people are making more of it than it is, and I'm coming at it from the angle of the guy that's in his early 60s. John is the guy who's in his mid-20s who watches all the races too, and he's into it. But one of the biggest changes were the races that are on linear TV networks, Fox and NBC, FS1. The average age of the viewer is 62 years old for NASCAR, 62. The average age of the people watching the Prime races, streaming only. What do you think, John? Average age of those that watch the races on Prime?
I'm going to say 37.
56.
Oh, that's not much younger.
No. I mean, it's really not. It's really not. They gained 147,000 viewers in the 18 to 54-year-old bracket, your bracket. They gained 147,000 viewers, but they lost 730,000 55-plus viewers. Now, what are we, scrap heap people? Last I knew, people 55-plus, kind of control a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would want to. I don't know why you want to kick the 55-pluses to the curb. I don't quite get that. All right, that's going to do it for us. I will be gone, though, for the next 9 days. So enjoy that. Have a wonderful holiday. For John, I'm Tom. Have a great day, everybody.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Massive move made by the Raptors. They're parting ways with the man who helped bring the team its first and only NBA championship in franchise history in 2019. Masai Ujiri out as Toronto's vice chairman and GM. The move comes a day after the conclusion of the NBA draft and 3 days before free agency begins. Members of the Raptors' current front office, including GM Bobby Webster, will remain in place. Texas State has called a Board of Regents meeting for Monday to complete its move to the Pac-12. Bobcats will become the conference's 8th football-playing full member and give that league the minimum number of members to continue as an NCAA conference. First round of the NHL draft is tonight, 7 Eastern ESPN. Islanders have the top overall pick, projected to select defenseman Matthew Schaefer of the Erie